By 2026, the wealthiest people, they aren't going to be working harder. They're just thinking faster. And the tool they're using is completely rewriting the rules of investing. So let's break down how you can build your own system to navigate this whole new world of wealth. And that quote right there, that's really the core idea we're going to unpack today. In an age of algorithms and just an overwhelming amount of data, the old ways of doing things are, well, they're simply outmatched. The gap isn't just about who has more money anymore. No. Now, it's about who has more processing power. Does this look familiar? I bet it does. It's that constant barrage of noise that every single modern investor has to deal with. On any given day, you're getting hit with earnings calls from the US, manufacturing data from China, and inflation reports out of Europe. It's just this relentless flood of information that feels like it's designed to trigger your anxiety. And that brings us right to the heart of the problem, what we're calling the information laser fight. It's the sheer, insane volume of global data that gets released every single day. And, most of us are just completely unequipped to handle it. Think about this number for a second. 10,000. Our brains were not evolved to synthesize 10,000 pages of global economic data every single week. It's just an impossible task for any one person. And when you try to keep up, well, that's when a critical failure happens. So what happens when our brains get totally overwhelmed by all this data? We fall right into our brain's emotional trap. It's a built-in biological response, and it is absolutely disastrous for building wealth. See, when we're bombarded with all that noise, our logical, systematic brain just kind of shuts down, and it defaults to raw emotion. You see a scary headline that the market is crashing, and boom, fear kicks in, and it makes you sell at the bottom. Or you hear about a friend making a fortune on something, and that FOMO, that fear of missing out, makes you buy at the absolute top. This emotional cycle is a trap, and it's what keeps most people from ever building real wealth. This is the million-dollar question, right? If our own biology is working against us in this kind of high-information world, how do you possibly get an edge? The answer actually is leverage. And today, the ultimate leverage is AI. But this requires a fundamental shift in how you think about it. It's not a magic 8-ball. Think of it as the most powerful research assistant you could ever imagine. Let's be absolutely crystal clear on this, because it is the biggest myth in finance right now. AI cannot predict the stock market. If anyone tells you their AI knows what an asset is going to do tomorrow, you should run the other way. It cannot predict the future, period. But here's what it can do, and honestly, this is its superpower. AI is the most powerful pattern recognition engine ever created. It is absolutely peerless at analyzing the past and mapping out historical market cycles with incredible speed and accuracy. And here's a perfect illustration of this power in action. As humans, we might look at the 2008 housing crisis in the US and the 2015 market crash in China and see two totally different events, different countries, different decades, different assets. But in AI, it just strips away all the superficial details and sees the deep underlying structure, a pattern of over-leveraged debt and a panic for liquidity. It finds the signal in all the noise. Okay, so how can you use this power today? This brings us to what I believe is the single most valuable tool you can start using immediately. It's a framework I call the Devil's Advocate prompt. This tool is designed specifically to defeat the #1 killer of investment portfolios, confirmation bias. You know what that is. It's our natural tendency to only go looking for information that proves we're right, which creates some really dangerous blind spots. And the process is brilliantly simple. First, you form an investment idea. That's your thesis. Second, you open up your favorite AI tool. And third, you deploy a prompt that is specifically designed to break your own idea. And this is the exact prompt. You tell the machine to be a ruthless auditor. You want it to brutally attack your idea before your capital is on the line. The AI has no ego. It's not trying to be nice. It will instantly pull up historical examples, interest rate risks, or demographic shifts that you completely overlooked. This is how you protect your downside first. Now, using that prompt is a powerful tactic for sure, but turning it into a system, that's where the magic really happens. This is how you build a repeatable habit that gives you a massive edge. So here it is, your new Sunday routine. For just 30 minutes, you download the latest report from a major central bank like the Fed or the ECB. And here's the best part. You don't even read it. You just drop it into an AI and ask it to summarize the biggest risks for you in simple terms. You do this for half an hour, and I guarantee you will understand global liquidity better than 90% of other retail investors out there. So let's just recap the 3 pillars of this whole framework. Number 1,
AI is a researcher, not an oracle. Use it for historical patterns, not future predictions. Number 2, emotion destroys wealth. Systems like that devil's advocate prompt protect you from it. And number 3, information processing speed. That is the new leverage.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. In a world where inflation is constantly eroding our purchasing power, the speed at which you learn and synthesize new information, well, that's the new form of compound interest. So the real question is, are you compounding fast enough?
And finally, of course, the mandatory reminder, this is all educational content. It is not financial advice. Please, always do your own research and make sure you consult with licensed professionals before making any financial decisions.